Good morning, Council. Thank you so much. Today I get to share with you a very special part of my heritage. As you may know, my family, we are Iranian-Americans. My father came to this country in 1967 as a scholarship recipient of what was then called the Pahlavi Foundation. It was a grant set up by the government of his homeland to help students travel abroad and get an education. And my dad's a very proud Okie because he ended up going to Oklahoma, of all places. Actually, he studied at the same school as our new police chief. So since then, in 1978, we moved here permanently, and I was born several years later, right here in Fresno. But growing up, like so many, whether you're Armenian or you're from Mexico or you're from Cambodia, we've become home in this community to so many people who, for whatever reason or another, had to leave their homeland. And I get to share a part of that history with you today. So when I was 15, I was a very curious young person who wanted to get in touch with my heritage. And I just remember as a child, I spent a lot of time in the home of my uncle, who lived in Fresno, in District 2. All I had really was this picture that was up, it's kind of hard to see, it was up on the bookshelf, and I was a little kid, so it was really high up. And it was a picture of someone who looked like a nice guy, but I had no idea who he was. And as I grew older, I learned that this was the king of the country, who unfortunately passed away in 1980. So this is before there were websites and internet. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot out there, so I tried getting in touch with different people to learn about my history. I asked my family about it. And what I ended up doing was there was this thing called AT&T 00 Info, which sounds silly, but you call and you get the number to anybody. Well, they couldn't find the number to the Queen or to the Shahbanou. But someone finally suggested, call the State Department. And I never thought of that. Great idea. And I did that. And through about 6 months of writing letters and trying to get in touch and find somebody and just reaching out, one person took my hand, and that was the Shahbanou, who is here with us today from Paris. And if we can get her on the, I don't know if she's ready yet, but we have her with us today. I'm very, very proud because today is also her birthday. And this is a person who I was very fortunate to be able to meet at a young age, who left a great impression on me. And as I learned about her history from my family and also from what she has done, in fact, Your Majesty, good evening. Thank you for being here. This is a true humanitarian, someone who was born just like me, but had a great opportunity to serve her country. She was a great ally. In fact, I love the picture of when you came to the United States, I think it was in 1962, and got to meet President Kennedy and his wife at the state dinner. I love that photo. I can't imagine how much of our history as in America you've been able to see. But, you know, I get to be in this country now, and I'm so lucky to be an American, that I can freely celebrate my heritage and my history and stay in touch with that in a free nation. So I'd like to share with you today that history. And I'm a little bit nervous, you have to forgive me. But, you know, what I'm going to do, it's a little bit unusual. I'm actually going to read the proclamation myself because I want to share with you some of her history that is in the proclamation. And then we'll continue on with the presentation. So this is a proclamation from the city of Fresno, whereas Farah Diba was born on October 14th, 1938 in Tehran, and was the only child to father Captain Sohrab Diba and mother Farida Qutbi, whereas Farah began her education at Tehran's Italian school, then moved to the French Jeanne d'Arc school, and later moved to Lycée Razi. During her years in school, she was also an accomplished athlete, becoming captain of her school's basketball team. Farah then pursued an interest in architecture at the École Spéciale d'Architecture in Paris. Forgive my French. Whereas while in Paris, Farah met the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, for the first time in 1959, and they announced their engagement later that year on November 23rd, and were officially married on December 20th, 1959, making Farah the Queen of Iran. The married couple had 4 children: Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi of Iran, Princess Farinaz Pahlavi of Iran, Prince Ali Reza Pahlavi of Iran, and Princess Layla Pahlavi of Iran. Whereas, as Queen, Farah Pahlavi has had many accomplishments. Her Majesty the Queen facilitated an exchange of cultural artifacts between French and Iranian art galleries and museums that went on for many years. As time progressed, Her Majesty the Queen used her position to secure funding and focus attention on causes related to women's rights and cultural development. One of Her Majesty's biggest accomplishments was founding Pahlavi University in the city of Shiraz, which was the first American-style university in Iran, and it was meant to improve the education of Iranian women. On October 26, 1967, Queen Farah became the first woman in Iran's last 1,400-year history to be crowned Shahbanou and appointed by the Shah as regent with the parliament's approval, making this event a monumental step toward gender equality in the country of Iran. Whereas Her Majesty Empress Farah worked tirelessly over a variety of charitable activities relating to women's rights, healthcare, and children's development and education, while always focusing on the cultural and artistic accomplishments of aspiring Iranians. These activities included establishing healthcare in lepers' villages, hospitals for cancer and burn injuries, organizations for the hearing and visually challenged, nationwide libraries for children, including mobile libraries, many museums such as the renowned Tehran Museum of Contemporary Art, the Carpet Museum, which speaks strongly to me, the Museum of Islamic and Pre-Islamic Art, the Qajar Museum, the Shiraz Art Festival, and last but not least, establishing as organization by name, the Dialogue of Civilization for the encouragement of interaction between Eastern and Western cultures. Now, therefore, be it resolved, Mayor Jerry Dyer and the Fresno City Council